County Legislature. Tonight's public hearing is being held in accordance with the governing law. Speakers who wish to participate must provide their name, municipality of residence, whether they represent or speak on behalf of an entity, and the topic on which they wish to speak. Tonight's hearing is only for the subject matter addressed on the agenda. If you want to address any topics not included on the agenda, you may do so at our public forum before our monthly meetings, or through written statements provided either by electronic or regular email. Pursuant to our rules, members of the public must refrain from questioning legislators, and legislators must refrain from questioning you. Speakers will be called in the order their names appear on the sign-up sheet, and they are permitted 5 minutes to express their views. I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Beston. Bergdorf. Clay. Cleary.
Here.
Collins. Camiso.
Here.
Conway.
Here.
Cunningham.
Here.
Demolowitz. Drake. Evacoro.
Here.
Atia. Feeney.
Here.
Vine.
Here.
Grimm. Andrew Joyce.
Here.
Raymond Joyce. Kuhn.
Here.
Laurelian.
Here.
Lakakis.
Here.
Lockhart.
Here.
Moriello.
Here.
Mayo. McLaughlin. McLean Lane.
Here.
Miller.
Present.
Pedo. Burley. Polatsky.
Here.
Reedy. Reinhardt.
Here.
Rickard.
Present.
Robinson.
Here.
Rosano.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Ward. Whalen. Willingham. Present.
Clerk, please read Resolution 577 for 2024.
Public hearing on proposed local law O for 2024. A local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 242 of the Albany County Code to prohibit the sale of camouflaged vaping devices in Albany County.
Clerk, please read the first name.
Allison Ritchie.
Good evening. It's good to see you all again. My name is Allison Ritchie, and I am the president of the New York Association of Convenience Stores. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak on behalf of 181 small businesses in Albany County. While we at NIAC support the ban on camouflage vapes, which are already illegal, I'd just like to take this opportunity to address parts of proposed Law P, the QUIT Act, that will have unintended and dire consequences on essential community retailers. We understand and support the goal of this legislation, which is protecting our youth from tobacco products, but we believe the approach as currently outlined needs adjustment. And I wanted to provide some perspective from the businesses that are directly impacted. First, if the intent of this legislation is to limit access to tobacco products for minors, why should smoke shops, which often continue to sell flavored vape products, which are banned by the state, be given preference for new tobacco licenses? These products are the most attractive to underage consumers, yet enforcement has been severely lacking. Instead of creating an unfair preference for smoke shops, which often restrict entry to those over 21, why not enforce the existing laws and penalize illegal retailers? Strengthening enforcement would effectively limit underage access to tobacco without impacting law-abiding businesses, more so than such a broad restriction on neighborhood retailers. Convenience stores and gas stations are fully committed to ensuring tobacco products aren't sold to minors. In fact, these businesses already verify IDs for a range of age-restricted products, like beer and lottery tickets. making them just as, if not more, prepared than smoke shops to handle these responsibilities. Convenience stores have a lot to lose if they sell to underage consumers, and they take the responsibility to verify IDs very seriously. Next, the proposed 1,000-foot restriction from schools is excessive, especially compared to the 200-foot rule in the alcohol beverage control law. This rule would jeopardize long-standing local businesses without addressing the core issue, which is the legal sales. If there must be a restriction, it should mirror the 200-foot rule, which has been successfully implemented in other areas. And of course, the inability to transfer tobacco licenses when a business is sold adds unnecessary complexity and devalues these businesses. If a business changes ownership, the new owner would be required to obtain a new tobacco license. And with the ultimate goal of this legislation to decrease the number of tobacco licenses in the county, this legislation will hamper business and make it harder for existing business owners to sell. Without the certainty of whatever products they could be sold by the future owner, it effectively lowers the value of their business. Owners who are purchasing an existing business that holds a tobacco license should receive priority for receiving a new license or should be allowed to renew the license that's already existing. Other municipalities, such as the city of Syracuse, have exempted gas stations from similar legislation, and we'd like to see Albany County take the same fair approach. I cannot stress enough, convenience stores support efforts to curb youth smoking. This is an opportunity to strike a balance between effective regulation and fair treatment, ensuring that we protect our youth while also preserving the businesses that are vital to our local economy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just a reminder, I think I'm going to address this, Mr. Kuhn, but just a reminder that the public hearing is actually on the vapes legislation, local law, and not the retail licensing one. It was a sister proposal. I allowed it, but just for future speakers, we have to keep to the public hearing on the agenda items that we are addressing this evening. Clerk, are there any more speakers?
Yes. Simone Fisher.
Hello, good evening. My name is Simona Fish. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator for Capital District Tobacco-Free Communities. Thank you for allowing me today to speak about the marketing of vapes designed to look like school supplies. Schools should be safe environments for learning and growth. However, the rise of vaping products that resemble everyday school items like highlighters, pens, and even erasers pose a serious threat to youth. These deceptive designs are appealing to kids and make it easy for them to hide their vaping habits from their parents and their teachers. The designs of these products is specifically made for youth. Most adults aren't looking to conceal a vape or fool anyone. Teachers and administrators already have so much to do that the added burden of combating vaping and identifying concealed vapes is too great a task. Policing the students drains energy and resources away from school staff and is disruptive to the day. A video that our Reality Check youth produced that you can see on our website profiled teachers and administrators at different schools who discussed how pervasive vaping is and how much it diverts time and energy from more productive activities. We know that the fun design and fruity flavors appeal to youth and hook them at a young age. When these products are marketed in ways that make them seem harmless and fun, it becomes increasingly difficult for kids to recognize the dangers associated with them. Almost 90% of middle and high school students who vape reported using flavored e-cigarettes, and over 1.6 million teens in the US are vaping in middle school and high school. Vapes are more addictive than cigarettes because they contain high levels of nicotine salts designed to hit the bloodstream and the brain more quickly. The average amount of nicotine in these devices is equal to about 1 pack of cigarettes. The nicotine in these products can have serious implications on youth brain development, as research has shown the adolescent brain is still forming until about the age of 25. Over 300 million vapes are sold each year in the United States. Flavored vapes are illegal here in New York, but you can find them in stores. In our most recent survey of Albany City stores, 37% of stores observed were selling flavored e-cigarettes containing nicotine. Children in the city of Albany should be able to walk to school without being bombarded by tobacco advertising and stores that sell nicotine shaped like a highlighter. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, are there any other speakers on this agenda item? Thank you. Is there anyone else in the chamber who wishes to speak on this local law? Okay, hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Clerk, please read Resolution 632 for 2024.
Public hearing on the 2025 tentative annual budget.
Clerk, please read the first name.
Michael McGlynn.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for permitting me to express my concerns about our global warming emergency and the need for the county legislature to amend with improvements the proposed 2025 county budget. Global warming is affecting our climate and ecological conditions with weather events such as extreme heat and cold temperature emergencies. In accordance with state executive law, Article 2B, the State Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan and emergency support functions identify government policies and programs to protect the public health and safety of our lives and property. County Emergency Management Service agencies can conduct a county emergency preparedness assessment of the mass care, emergency assistance, housing, and human services emergency support function to attain a risk profile of housing public health standards. The state constitution in Article 14, Section 4 states the policy of the state shall be to conserve and protect its natural resources, and the state legislature shall include adequate provision for the abatement of air and water pollution. The State Extreme Heat Action Plan supports thermal resilience, weatherization, decarbonation of residential buildings across state programs. A 2019 Capital Region Community Health Needs Assessment indicates that Albany had the largest number of substandard housing units in the Capital Region. And the 2022 County Climate Resilient Plan reports a countywide housing vulnerability with 20% of residential parcels are at major climate risk, 5% are at severe climate risk, and 1% are at extreme climate risk. County legislative cooperation with recently confirmed Honorable Aaron Stachwich, I hope I didn't mess it up, as the County Commissioner of the Department of Social Services can improve mitigation of heat, illness, and death of our neighbors within the social services budget. The State Social Service Law, Section 131-A-5, authorizes discretion by the Commissioner to assess and replace heating, cooking, and refrigeration equipment in government-subsidized housing units. Earlier this year, Governor Hochul allocated $22 million of HEAP monies to purchase air conditioners for low-income residents of New York. The county legislature earlier this month approved contracts for HVAC and boiler maintenance at county facilities for safe working conditions and reduced consumption of energy, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, and government costs. Will the legislature authorize the Emergency Management Office and Social Services Department to conduct a county emergency preparedness assessment of public health and safety conditions of government-subsidized residents to protect our neighbors from extreme temperature emergencies? The inclusion of state energy-efficient building codes within the assessment of government subsidized residential buildings could qualify the county legislature to contract, purchase, and installation of energy-efficient HVAC equipment using federal and state program funds. An intermunicipal agreement among NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities and state DEC Climate Smart Communities in the county with the Capital District Regional Planning Commission can cooperate to implement the county climate resilience plan.
30 seconds.
Wow. I urge discussion to amend the proposed county budget with a county comprehensive emergency preparedness assessment of government subsidized housing to protect public health from extreme temperature emergencies. As you know, National Grid has proposed utility rate increases, and energy efficient equipment will reduce energy consumption, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, lessen utility failures, and minimize government heat payments to National Grid. I realize political corruption and economic fraud exist in our society. Therefore, I hope you will include audits and investigations of government programs to protect our constitutional rights to clean air and clean water. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, please read the next name.
There are no other speakers.
Is there anyone else in the chamber who wishes to speak? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. That wraps up our public hearings. Can I ask for a motion to adjourn? Ms. McLean Lane, a second. Mr. Ricard, all those in favor? Anybody opposed? Good evening.
He jumped